Well, we have a sweet soul day on Alum Creek. She just noticed me and I just noticed her, and so now she seems to be moving off. It's alright, honey soul. Yes, it's alright. Well, it's good to see at least one of you guys back. We haven't seen y'all for a while. Yeah. Have a good munch out there. Yeah, she was lying very placidly, and then of course when she noticed me, I talked to her, and then I went in to get the camera, and then I came out, and that was pretty much it. Well, it's good to see at least one of them back. Well, this is a banner day here on July 21st, 2014, around 4:30 in the afternoon. No, I'm sorry, 14:30 in the afternoon. It's around 78. Probably, well, yes, allowing for parallax there. Yes, that's 78. And our deer buddy seems to have scampered away, which is a bit unfortunate because I do like to watch them. I was going to remark that the other day, on Sunday when I went to church, on the south side of Powell Road, a deer that had clearly been hit by a car, although it didn't look like it had much overt damage. But this was a dead animal. But it had been lying about, it was lying, it wasn't had been, it was lying. About 40 some feet, maybe 50 some feet off of the road, the edge of the road, which meant that it was actually out of the right of way, which means that the county or the township isn't going to come and collect it. Because it has to be in the right of way for the township or the county to come collect these dead beasts. And I got thinking, well, what you have to do is you have to try to drag this thing, put a chain on it or a cable on it or something and drag this thing over toward so it's in the right of way. But then I got thinking, well, they're going to see that you've dragged it. And so I couldn't think of a way that perhaps you could advise this man to finesse the county or the township into so maybe you'll just have to let this thing rot out there in his front yard. I know there's been any number of those unfortunate entities that have rotted out in my front yard. One problem is you don't want to puncture your tractor tires on them when you go mowing. You have to sort of remember where they are. And, over the course of a number of years, well, of course, after the course of a number of years, well, then, everything sort of gets broken down. So that's just the way you have to sort of plan your world around here. Now, Paul's off today, and he just had about an hour and a half, about a 2-hour nap, actually. And he's in doing some internet-y stuff. And I went and made a wine run today, this morning at 8:30 in the morning. Because you don't want to get caught short of your favorite dilute beverage. And notice I do say it's dilute, guys. I'm not just pouring this stuff out here straight. Look, you can almost see through it. I really don't care whether you condemn me for it or not, frankly. That's the way I live. Another way I live is, if you look at it, is it occurs to me that I, like a lot of people in their 60s and 70s, now dress like a 4-year-old. Look, see, I've got gym shorts on, you know. I dress like a 4-year-old. I dress like a 4-year-old going to the playground. I'm not alone in this. There are any number of people my age that do that. My ex-wife was, and probably still is, notorious for basically, since she was, well, she's 78, but easily for the last 15 some years, she basically dressed in nothing but what I call sweat ensembles. You know, to the point that people started getting her, you know, various sweat attire for Christmas and her birthday. And of course, you know, with the crowd she ran with or runs with, or, well, I mean, some of them they're not running with her anymore because they cacked off. You know, I mean, you know, a lot of them have cat logos. You know, they have cats on them. You know, sayings. My word, even just a standard sweatshirt or a pair of pants with one of these god-awful Nike logos or Adidas logos would be preferable to one of those little pictures. Well, I'm not quite that bad yet, but you know, if I ever get that bad, I hope somebody emails me and tells me to jump off my deck or something. Well, human foibles, huh? Well, now today I got sent a sort of a link from a fellow that I emailed back and forth with that was talking about how people misuse the word very, you know, and there were a number of synonyms for various words that makes your discourse and correspondence sound more lively if you use the offered word rather than the more mundane word. Now, admittedly, I mean, there's only one example of each word, which, of course, means that, as another person pointed out to me, that she could think of a lot better words for certain circumstances. But this was not meant to be a comprehensive list. But then I also got thinking of, you could also do a similar list for the intensifier, you know, for pretty, used as an intensifier. You know, many examples could come to mind. And then let us not even go into the egregious use of the word like, in terms of like, you know, like, you know, like, well, like, you know, like, well, it was like, you could almost hear the neurons freezing up when that happens. And then meanwhile, if you're in some sort of evaluative setting, sorry guys, sorry people who are in their 20s, people evaluate you all the time. Yes, older people evaluate you all the time. And they connect how you speak to how you think, and therefore to whether they want to hire you or not. That's just the fact of the matter. That's how the world works. You know, the internet's around, and yes, I know it's changed things, but it hasn't changed things that much, because we're talking about some sort of fundamental linguistic, neurological function here. Let those with ears hear. Well, other than that, it's been a really great day. Well, it's been a great day anyway. Actually, because of that. In addition to the wine run, I decided I had to buy some Q-tips. Now when Paul moved in 30-some years ago, he brought with him a box of Q-tips. And very occasionally you have recourse to use these things. I certainly never clean my ears with those. I use a Bic pen top. But if you've got some sort of isolated thing that you need to put a bit of antibiotic on or something, you can use, so these 350 Q-tips have pretty much lasted us, yeah. Now, lately, because of my body cosmetic enhancement, if you will, that would be known as nipple rings. To do the cleaning, the Q-tips have been very necessary. And they're almost completely healed, by the way. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're healed. We're up to like post-op day number 33 now. In any case, we're almost out of these Q-tips, so I went out and bought another box. But my word, it took me the better part of about 15 minutes tramping around Giant Eagle to find these things. I finally broke down. I'm a guy. Guys don't ask for directions and help. That's because we're guys. Guys don't ask for directions and help. So eventually, I did ask, and the guy actually played it just right. He just sort of waved his arm down. He says, "Well, it's an aisle B, and it's down on the right side somewhere." It wasn't like he came out around the counter and walked me down there and held my hand. I appreciated that. He left me some dignity. It's always nice when you try to leave somebody some dignity, I think. So on that note, I'm going to say bye-bye, YouTubers. It's a great day. God bless us all.